live in a world where noise has become inseparable from daily life. The honking of cars, the pinging of phones, voices overlapping one another. You're used to it, aren't you? Even now, as you listen to this video, your mind is buzzing with thoughts. What's next? Should I even watch this? But imagine, for a moment, that the world falls completely silent. No sounds, no echoes. Just you. What would you hear? Does the thought frighten you? Oh, silence often feels scary because in silence, there's nowhere to hide. No, you won't hear the voice of God or mystical whispers. In the silence, you'll hear only one thing: yourself. And therein lies the paradox. To truly find yourself, you must step into the very silence you often run from. Why do you run? Because you've been taught that silence equals emptiness. But the truth? Silence is far from empty. It's deeper and more vast than you could ever imagine. You might be thinking, why do I need this? I already have enough to do. But if you're still here, something within you has responded. I don't know you, and that doesn't matter. I'm simply here to share this with you. Do you think you're living in the present? No, you're living in the noise. Every day you're surrounded by sounds, social media, conversations, TV, the store's background music. Even when you're alone, the noise follows you. It's in your head. Questions, reflections, worries. That's noise too. But here's the thing. This noise creates an illusion. The illusion of meaning. The illusion of being busy. The illusion of control. It's like white noise. You grow so used to it that you don't notice the weight it places on you. Think about it. When was the last time you truly listened to silence? Not just the absence of sound, but the space where you can hear yourself. External noise is a mask. You use it to avoid looking inward because inside lies what you're afraid to face: doubts, fears, vulnerabilities. But whether you acknowledge it or not, this noise is your prison. Here's a simple example. Imagine sitting in a crowded restaurant. The room is full of people talking at once. You hear voices, but you can't make out the words. In this chaos, you lose yourself and your connection to reality. What's surprising is that you don't even try to leave the room. But what if I told you there's a quiet room just behind the door, a space where it's just you? The question is, do you dare step inside? Your greatest enemy isn't someone out there. It's your mind. It's always with you, endlessly chattering. Even in silence, the internal dialogue doesn't stop. You hear it every second, yet somehow you believe it's you. Are you sure? Are you sure that voice in your head is truly you? Think about it. You can't control it. You don't choose your thoughts. They just appear. Some disturb you, others frighten you, and some bring pain. But what do all these thoughts have in common? They're noise. Noise that keeps you from hearing what really matters. Notice how this works. When you're in silence, your mind panics. It's terrified you'll notice it's not in charge, scared of losing its grip. But here's the good news. You can quiet this noise. You don't need anything to do it. No money, no time, no special techniques. All you need is silence. Close your eyes. Try it now. Just listen. You'll hear your mind keep talking, but in the silence, you might start hearing something deeper. This is natural. Don't try to stop it. Just observe. And do you know what you'll notice? The mind is not you. The real you is the one observing, the one who hears the noise but remains silent. There are pauses between thoughts, small and subtle gaps. That's silence. It's always there, waiting for you, but the mind doesn't like it. It tries to fill the gaps because when you notice the silence, you start to see clearly. Thoughts are just thoughts. They aren't your reality. They aren't you. Let me ask you this: if your mind were silenced forever, would you cease to exist? The answer is simple: no. You would remain just you. You are more than any thought or word. Don't fear silence because you think it's empty. It's not. Silence is where truth hides. Imagine this. You're looking at the night sky, stars, comets, planets, but what's in between them? Space. Without it, nothing would exist. Silence is your inner space. It's not an absence, but the presence of everything. In silence, you start to see reality. Here's a simple exercise. Sit in silence and close your eyes. Listen to the sounds around you. Then, listen beyond them. The pauses, the emptiness, that is silence. At first it might feel unsettling. Suddenly you'll notice anxiety, restlessness, and worry bubbling up. That's okay. It's just your mind clinging to its power, trying to pull you back into the noise. But if you stay in the silence, you'll see the anxiety fade away. Like a wave, it comes and goes. And what remains is silence. That's what you'll find. And you are more than your thoughts, more than your emotions, more than your fears. You're the one who hears the silence. But let's go even further. Silence isn't just something you hear. It's what you are. Now, you might say, how can that be? I think, I speak, I act. True, but that's only part of it. You can be all those things, but you are not only those things. Think about this. If you can observe your thoughts, who is the observer? If you can hear your inner voice, who is the listener? That's silence. It's always there, behind the thoughts, behind the noise. It doesn't come and go. It simply is. And once you realize this, you'll understand there's nothing to search for. You're already home. Silence is a mirror. It reflects all that you are, not just what you see. It shows you what's hidden, and that can be unsettling. Because in the mirror, you see the shadows as well as the light. But without this step, you'll never truly know yourself. So ask yourself, are you ready to look into the mirror? Are you ready to stay in silence and see yourself as you truly are? This isn't about meditation or spiritual practice. It's about you. Just sit, be still, listen. You'll discover more than answers. You'll discover yourself. And here's one final question. What do you hear now? The world can make all the noise it wants, but here, now, in this moment, silence is always with you. You can hear it between the words, you can feel it in the pauses. Here's the important thing. It has always been with you, even when you didn't notice. Silence speaks. It has always spoken. But can you hear it? You might wonder, what's next? What do I do with this? That's the secret. You don't have to do anything. Silence isn't a place to go or a a state to achieve. It's already here. All you have to do is notice it. I know it sounds too simple to be true. After all, you are used to complexity, to fighting for everything, to earning every piece of peace. You've been told that peace is a reward and silence is a privilege. But the truth is, silence has always been yours. It doesn't require effort. It's just waiting for you to stop struggling. Now imagine your life as a river, a flow of thoughts, events, and emotions. It all keeps moving, rushing along, and you're swept away trying to fix something, control something, swim against the current. But what if you stopped? What if you didn't jump in? Instead, just sit on the riverbank and watch the water flow. You'd see it all pass by, but you wouldn't be part of it anymore. You'd simply observe. And here's the fascinating thing. The river won't stop. Thoughts will still flow. Events will still unfold. But you won't drown anymore. You'll watch. And that's where the magic begins. As you sit on the bank of this river, you'll notice the noise quieting down, little by little. Because noise doesn't depend on reality, it depends on your attention. Silence doesn't mean stopping the flow. It means no longer being part of it. Do you see? You can be in silence, even in the busiest, noisiest moments. It's a liberating feeling. When everyone around you is rushing, arguing, making noise, you can sit by your riverbank and just watch. Silence becomes your ally. It's not an escape from reality, but a return to yourself. It might feel strange, I know. Your mind is used to defining you with words, names, histories, professions. But in silence, there are no labels. It's just you. And do you know what? That's beautiful. Because in silence, you don't have to be anything. You don't have to prove, fight, or fix anything. You just are. And that's enough. Silence won't change you. It won't grant you superpowers or solve your problems. But it will show you that everything you've been searching for has always been right here, within you. When you finally stop and just listen, you'll realize there's nowhere you need to go. You're already home. Now, one last question. What do you hear now? If you hear noise, that's okay. If you feel the chatter, the restlessness, the thoughts, that's okay too. But if you listen a little closer, you'll find silence between it all. And in that silence, behind the noise, behind the thoughts, behind everything you think you are, that's where your truth lies. Silence speaks. It always has. Can you hear it?